This is What a Week.
What a week. PoliTricks.
Eta, welcome to another episode of Wow, What a Week, hashtag PoliTricks, where the headlines meet the heat and the spin meets the truth. We're going all over the world today. People have passed away. There are parallel governments, or are there not parallel governments? Otherwise, why are people speaking to foundations and not to government in the first place? It's a jam-packed show. Get your seatbelt on. Get your warm bev, unless you prefer a cold bev. As long as you have a bev and you're comfortable, we will do the rest. This is PoliTricks on Wow, What a Week. Please welcome Botsang Modimowame Moiloa.
Good morning, Fresh, and morning to the viewers and the followers. I've got my warm bev, I have my coffee.
Yes.
And this is the second one since I've been waiting, so I've got enough caffeine in my body to can face your topics there.
What's up?
Sharp, my brother.
Sad week. I think it's actually been a sad past 4 or 5 years. Because I think in the past 4 to 5 years, we've probably buried more people than we have in the previous 5 years.
Yeah. It's been hectic, and mostly even young people.
Yes.
For me, my concern, we're burying people our age and younger than us.
My doctor was talking about that he's dealing increasingly with stroke and heart incidences from people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And he says, he's been a doctor for the last 40 years.
Imagine.
And he says never in the history of his career has he dealt with this many. And he's as baffled as everyone else is.
Fresh, that has been my worry in life. And luckily I was brought up by parents from Ramokolo, uncles and who were health freaks. It has been my concern. I think what is happening now, despite that I'm one of the people who is suspecting the COVID-19 vaccines are contributing heavily to this. I did not vaccinate because I don't take drugs anyway. But I think it's also the lifestyle.
Yes.
The food we consume, our lifestyles as human beings.
We're eating poison half the time.
We're eating, most of the time, we're eating plastic, we're eating GMOs, we're eating poison. And I think it's our lifestyle. That's why I'm trying. I'm not the healthiest person on earth, but I am trying where I can. For example, people get surprised that I don't take what you call cool drinks, soft drinks and fizzy drinks. I don't have a sweet tooth, but I do the other wrong stuff. I consume alcohol. So it's our lifestyle. It's what we eat. It's sad what is happening around us.
TSHIDI MADIA.
Yes, sir.
Mama Nandi have left us. What are your reflections?
Yeah, well, may their, happy souls rest in eternal peace. Especially, it's Women's Month, and we have lost key women. With Mama Nandi, she was a role model to many people who watches television. She kept us busy on our TV screens. For those who watch TV, I like her role, and sadly in South Africa, when people in her position who are called celebrities, but for me they are artists, pass on, then there's noise being made, about having a law or changing the law to protect the artists, because most of these artists, whether it's for music, whether it's football, sports, or acting or television, most of the time when they pass on, we hear these stories, how they struggled with their medical bills, how they died, in poverty. And we ask ourselves, what is happening with their royalties? What is happening with how much are they earning? Are they paid well? What is actually going on there? And I personally think it is a high time that there must be a political intervention to have a regulation, to have a law that protects the interests of the artists.
But how, when bapallo like simple laws that guarantee artists residuals if you're an actor, that guarantee them royalties?
That's a law that I think we should have.
I remember, what's his name? He was on Jamie Bartlett.
Yes.
He was on Rhythm City.
He was on Rhythm City. I remember very well.
And I did SA's Got Talent with Jamie. He was one of the judges. And we had a long, deep conversation. And he was telling me about how he's probably bigger in other African countries than he is here, because ETV is on pretty much every possible decoder on the continent.
On the continent, yes.
So he says he'd visit different African countries, or he'd get an invitation, unaware how big he is where he's been sent.
Yes.
Then he realized that, I mean, if ETV are on every single decoder that is available, it's China,
Yeah.
then where are his royalties?
Exactly.
Those are conversations that he was having
And
about the fact that we're big across the continent, but what we're remunerated does not even reflect it.
And even long after you pass on, even long after you have been paid
Yeah.
for viewing in South Africa, I used to have my decoder, DSTV decoder, when I was stationed in Mozambique. And I could watch South African soapies, but they were so popular. For example, Generations is so popular in the African continent, even if they are playing old episodes.
Yes.
But there is nothing that goes to artists. You know, we always talk and complain about this when somebody has passed on, but after this, it's gonna be silent. And I think artists must also organize themselves and approach the government. It's high time that one must be confronted to say enough, it's enough, we need protection, we need laws and rules. Gaten McKenzie is talking passionate about protecting artists and supporting artists. He is a political head of that department. Let him table a bill or a paper in parliament that will protect us artists. I don't think any normal political party leader will oppose such a bill in parliament.
In fact, Tate John Kani was lamenting the fact that because he's a member of the Screen Actors Guild in the US, in Hollywood, that if there's a tools down, he gets a stipend.
Yes.
He gets a stipend because they fight for them.
Exactly.
All the movies that he's in from Hollywood, he gets a residual. So he's almost got money for life from a lot of these productions.
Yeah.
If it's tools down, the guild will send Chekenyana to say, here's something for food until you're back again working.
Yes, I think in honor of the departed artists and activists in whether it's in TV, sports, or whatever, in their honor and with men and having have passed on, let the people in those industries rise and act together. If you don't do it yourself, the government and politicians are not going to do it.
Absolutely.
But then sadly, TSHIDI MADIA, Matsidiso was very young, fresh, at age 42, may also have soul rest in peace. But what a dynamic young, political reporter and journalist and all that. When we had our conversation on radio during the course of the week, I referred to her as a national diplomat, a national ambassador and an activist who I think the most memorable thing, even for people who are not following politics, that will forever stay in the minds of South Africans. It's what TSHIDI did as recent as the visit to the Oval Office in the US recently, because a lot of people who don't follow politics, who don't listen to talk radios, who don't, because she will always interview a lot of politicians, very robust interviews. But the visit to the Oval Office as part of the delegation of President Ramaphosa, South African delegation that went to meet President Trump, and the interview she had on BBC regarding South Africa and the way she defended and explained, for me, that was a patriot. That was a South African talking about South Africa. And that's why I regard her as a diplomat who's not, a career diplomat wearing those robes. Because in all the delegation members that went to the US, fresh in my books, she's the one who put the South African position better than anybody else.
She was probably the MVP of that visit.
Exactly.
And she had to do it against what was clearly a right-wing media that already came with preconceived notions of what South Africa is based on the fake news that was already doing the rounds. And the fact that she passionately rebutted it.
Yeah.
And said, but listen, if you want to tell me about refugees from South Africa, show them to me. Because I can tell you for free that those people are not farmers. They're not farmers.
No. But also, I think a passion for politics and media and knowing how the media can influence the people's minds and the perceptions. She used that platform correctly in the, sadly it was in the last few weeks before departing, but her voice will remain. With technology and internet, the voice of TSHIDI will remain. For me, you were asking me the other time, what was the most memorable moment? For me, it was when she interviewed Ntate Jacob Zuma after he was sentenced to prison, and
Yes.
she drove to Nkandla and had a one-on-one when nobody could access Jacob Zuma at that time. TSHIDI went there kicking doors and opening, and he had a very lengthy conversation with President Zuma, and for me that was the highlight. But what she did in the US, what she did with the BBC, and the legacy she left behind as a media personality, very young age, and it's sad. We have lost a gentle giant of the media.
My lasting memory of TSHIDI is her ability to, with respect, dig for the truth from the political elites, if you call them that.
Yes.
That she will force the truth out of you, but respectfully.
Yeah.
Such that when you walk away with respect.
Yes.
Not feeling like you are being attacked. And the fact that she was about, I'm going to find the truth. I'm going to dig for the truth.
Yes.
And I'm going to use the truth to expose you. Or I'm going to use the truth as a mirror to show you yourself. That ability you don't find in many journalists.
Exactly.
Often journalists of her caliber doing politics end up with a hate relationship.
Yes. And that's not the
with
case.
Politicians. Whereas with her, you may differ with her, but you leave there feeling respected regardless.
That's a skill she had, the ability.
Absolutely.
What confirms what you just said is the reaction in the statements issued by various political parties plus various politicians, from Helen Zille to Fikile Mbalula to everybody that has crossed, this microphone and platform. They're talking very positive. Say she will grill you, she'll extract information from you, she'll criticize you. But as you correctly say, Fresh, when you leave that studio, when you leave that interview, you will say that woman may have exposed me, but she did it with integrity, discipline, and respect. And for that, I respect her.
Absolutely.
Yes, brother.
What's going on with Deco?
Yeah, I don't even think it's there. I think it's showing what I've said before. The center cannot hold Fresh. Teroko, it's on the, when I've said before, I don't know if government departments are still classified. Like, after 1996 constitution, the Department of Home Affairs was number one, followed by the military, because we wanted not to be seen as a military state, but as a constitutional state. Derco was sitting at number 3 or 4 after finance and all. It was on the top 5. But I think that department has been undermined for quite a long time. I think
by whom?
The government. The government didn't give Derco what it deserved, and the role that it plays internationally, especially that we have become an internationalist country. We participate in a lot of international forums. We sign a lot of deals and treaties, yet Derco is not equipped. I think after Dr. Nkosana Dlamini Zuma, it was Dr. Naledi Pandor, and I'm not taking anything from Messi Sulu. I'm not taking anything away from the other Mashabane Mashabane and now Lamola. But it is not only about my observation. It's not only about the leadership that the ANC-led government has placed there. It is also says there's a problem in the functionaries of the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. The experts, the diplomats. I mean, wow. I looked at the press conference of Minister Lamola this week, where he announced that President Ramaphosa is about to announce on the ambassador. They finalized the process, and they will give him the ambassador to the USA. But in between that, they also responded late again. We spoke early this week about that those, what do you call them, celebrities? What do you call the people who are
influencers? Yes,
who were on all over social media promising people jobs. Finally,
jobs in Russia.
Yes, jobs in late, but it happened. Derco and the Russian embassy issued statements.
Barring.
The Russian embassy said they've heard about that on all this social media, but they say, or they are alleging that there's an involvement of a French and a British media channel that are funding and influencing this. They are propelling false information. It is not just something. It is to soil the name of Russia. And it was found out that actually this human trafficking elements, it's happening in Southeast Asia, China and the South. It is not in Russia. That's the first part. But
so does the company that was advertising that is looking for 18 to 22-year-olds. Does it exist or does it not exist?
It does not exist, according to the Russian. It does not exist in Russia. There's nothing like that. That's why these influencers were told to remove their thing. What Russia did correct.
No, those influencers removed based on social media pressure.
Yes.
Yes.
But they also got instructions from Dereko and the Russian embassy. And NPA has been given orders to investigate possible prosecution.
So where is the place that they were shooting this thing then? If it doesn't exist.
You know, when you sent me, or was it Kelet or our executive?
I sent it in our group on the weekend. Yeah. Yes.
Remember when I said this is not real, and you said, but it's there. I think there's an element of AI there. I don't think that lady was standing in front of that building. I really looked at it. Even today, when we were waiting for you with Trevor, I opened that video again. I don't think that person was standing in front of that building in Russia. I think it was an AI then and generated. I think there's something they've done today. But Russia has, in their statement, has said there's a link they've included of the number of agencies and organizations that are recruiting people. They do have that.
Yes.
You understand? They do. But they said, if they are not on this list, test it with us. Dereko came with a statement to warn the influencers, and they told them that they have approached the NPA, and South Africans must be very careful in going abroad. But what I always advise people afresh, when anybody, even adults, are traveling, it is always important to do two things. One, you must notify the South African officials in the country you are going to, even if you are on holiday, for your own safety and for the government to know that you are in that country. The minute you get into the plane, you just go to the website of the South African embassy in the country to inform them by email or anything. The second thing is, if you've got a job offer, career offer, or anything from another country, always go to most of these countries we have relations with. South Africa has over 110 missions abroad. Go to their representatives in South Africa. Phone the Russian embassy in Pretoria or the American or the Chinese embassy and inquire and ask before you enter into any deal for you to be safe. That's what people should be doing. If you are smart enough to can have a passport, get into the plane and travel, I think you should be smart enough.
A bit of due diligence.
Just pick up the phone or send an email to the embassy of that particular country. Don't rely on a person that stands up and say, we are having this job because we are desperate for a job. And I think that's what we must do. But that's the challenges that Dereko is facing with. They are always troubleshooting. They always come after the effect. One of the things that Dereko mentioned, or the Minister of Dereko mentioned this week during the press briefing, was that Mr. Mbeki Jonas, our envoy to the USA, is there, he's working. He doesn't tell us what is he doing and where. Same story every other week. He's there, he's working, he's engaging key stakeholders. Now, which key stakeholders? Because if you're an envoy to the US, your key stakeholder must be the Americans. And the Americans haven't met Mbeki Jonas. You understand? And that's where the challenge is. On top of this whole thing, boom. Remember the committee that we discussed, I think 2-3 weeks back, the House of Representatives Committee on Foreign Affairs.
Yes.
The ones that I've presented a bill to the Senate in the US.
Pushing for sanctions against certain members of the ANC, yes.
Yes, that committee.
Yes.
Some of its members are coming to South Africa. Guess not to do what? Not to meet the ANC, not to meet the government, not to meet Dereko, to meet the Mbeki Foundation.
So the group of American senators that want members of the ANC sanctioned,
yes,
are coming to South Africa,
yes,
not to meet the government.
Not to meet the government.
But to meet the Mbeki Foundation.
Yes. Yeah.
What in the diplomacy is that, though?
Look, it goes back to AfriForum and the DA ever going to the USA and talking nonsense about genocide in South Africa. I don't say they're coming to talk nonsense. I'm saying, and to your question, what kind of diplomacy is that? It does happen. It is not that it's unheard of.
Okay.
That a foreign government can engage with influential people and or organizations in a country.
But,
It can be a
but given the current climate, though,
exactly.
what are these optics?
It's not even optics fresh. I think it's a slap on President Ramaphosa's face as well as Minister.
But it goes back
Lamona.
to the optics I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That it almost, you know what it feels like? It feels like, let's find out how else we can embarrass the president.
Yeah.
This is what this feels like.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's not optics, it's factual. First of all, Thabo Mbeki's foundation, the TMF, issued a statement last weekend to say they went and they met President Mbeki and members of the foundation. They went and they had a meeting with officials from the American embassy in Pretoria. You see, there's things happening. The American embassy is not meeting Dereko,
Yes.
is not meeting President Ramaphosa, is not meeting the South African envoy Jonas, it's not meeting Minister Lamola, it's meeting a foundation of President Mbeki. These committee members have previously met with AfriForum, Solidarity, and what was the other organization that was with them? The three organizations that went to the US. Now they are coming to South Africa. Yes, obviously, Dereko was notified officially because there's an official travel to come and meet a foundation of the former president of the country, the former president whose foundation has just withdrawn from a national convention preparing to a national dialogue. So for me, it feels like, and as you said, looking at the current situation, we don't have diplomatic representation, full diplomatic representation in Washington. They refuse to give access to our envoy. It's like they're running a parallel government. You know, they're like, who can we talk to in South Africa? We are done with Solidarity and AfriForum. Let's look at on the other side, the left or the center wing, who can, and they chose President Mbeki. I don't think it's good for our country. I don't think it's good taking into consideration our relationship and challenges with the Americans at the moment.
Because you'd think that by now we'd be forming a lager of sorts and consolidating communications, thoughts, PR, strategies, so that there is one hymn book.
Yes.
And we're all singing from that.
Absolutely.
Because for me, it smells almost like a divide and conquer strategy.
Yeah, who's better, who's
Or
prepared.
or undermine and conquer. Or further undermine someone who's... Because already, I mean, the presidents are putting out fires left, right, and center.
Yes.
The last thing they need is this.
Exactly. And I'm actually very surprised that the Thabo Mbeki Foundation, led by President Mbeki, has acceded to this.
Yes.
You understand? First of all, where is patriotism? We are troubled with the Americans. And I don't think President Mbeki is a kind of a person who will say, I'm the only one who has the solution. The solution is my way. I don't think that. But for him or his foundation acceding to the request of the Americans to come and engage with them, maybe to broker peace, maybe to talk to them, yes, but I prefer your method or your suggestion. Let's devise a plan and sing from the same hymn book. Let us have one channel that is the official South African channel to communicate with our foreign counterparts or our I mean, those people will be the government guests when they are here. They will be traveling with diplomatic or official passports to be here. The government will have responsibility. They are members of the Senate and things like that. And I don't think it is good for the South African government at the moment to be put through this whole thing. But like I said at the beginning, I think it's a slap and it's a show of no confidence in President Ramaphosa. I don't think the Americans are taking President Ramaphosa serious. We saw during the visit to the Oval Office, they demanded that he comes with business people like Johan Rupert. Why would you dictate?
Yeah, bring me some blue-eyed boys.
Yes, that I can, when you talk to me, I want them to be in the same room. Now they are coming to South Africa in the middle of crisis and they want to talk to the former president that has had a fallout with the current president domestically.
But it smells like there's almost a pattern here, though. You know, whether it was Lungisa calling out the NEC,
yes,
Gigaba, with the statements that he made last week or the week before that, Professor Mohalele,
yes.
It almost feels like
Oh no.
Kunu also almost feels like President Ramaphosa is busy just blocking punches from left, right, and center from the people that he should be in the lager with.
Yes. Or was supposed to be.
Or am I overthinking it?
Yeah. No, you are not. You have picked up the pattern. It's not overthinking because it's things that are happening. There is an attack from within his political party, the ruling ANC or the leading ANC.
Let me take a sip.
And from the nation as well, because we as ordinary citizens, we are in inverted commas, heartful with President Ramaphosa's admin. We are, people generally, they think he's an indecisive person. He's not in touch with reality. That's the people. Now, very key leading members, you have just mentioned 4 of them. There is also one that came from Dr. Naledi Pandor, the former minister of DRC.
Oh, yes. She also...
the latest one.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes.
None of us saw that coming. Yes, she's a very genuine person.
What did she say, for those that missed it?
She didn't mention President Ramaphosa by name, but she says some of the troubles we are having and experiencing, it's having a leader that is spineless, that does not know what is going on, that is indecisive, that is actually, instead of giving the people solutions, he's asking people for solutions. Those were the words of Naledi Pandor. Now, and those were very harsh words. This is the lady who has been the minister of DERCO. She has served under all the past 3 presidents. Understand? She has been speaking very high of them. We know the role she played international, foreign, all that. But after she retires and she says this, critics are saying, why is she saying this when she is outside while she was part of the government? Some people are saying, who said I cannot criticize what fed me before? Because when you are outside a system, fresh, you've got better optics. You've got better vision towards. And I don't know why is everybody realizing late. I'm one of the biggest critics of President Ramaphosa before he became the president of South Africa. Long before he came back to politics, I've been his critic. Why are they realizing only now? You know, if I was President Ramaphosa, I will feel like I'm being betrayed. But look at the caliber of the people. Andile Lungisa is one of the heavyweights, a member of the NEC of the ANC.
Many would argue one of the last standing firebrands.
Yes, many will argue that, of who came from the former youth league. But Malusi Gigaba, who had taken a submarine to be out of politics for good, not out of politics, but quiet, came gun blazing. Malusi Gigaba is a former minister of finance, former minister of public enterprises,
Home Affairs.
Former Minister of Home Affairs, very important critical portfolios. And we know that his name has been pushed to be the next person to contest the president of the ANC. I don't know, Minister Mtunu, what drove him. But we should also remember that during the Nazareth 2017, Minister Mtunu was actually what do you call the person who had the campaign for President Ramaphosa to come and become the ANC president. He was the head of campaign. Understand? And he's in trouble now with the police reports and the commission. Then came Naledi Pandor. These are all members of the NEC. These are people who occupy strategic position. Parallel to that, President Mbeki, President Motlanthe, they just ditch President Ramaphosa. So there's an attack from all sides. But let me remind you, when President Mbeki was removed, I'll remind you and the viewers the history of the ANC lately. It was removed from office in 2007 after the Polokwane conference. Few months before that, people started questioning, about 15 months, 13 to 15 months, questioning President Mbeki, how he is aloof, how he is busy in the continent, he's not in touch with reality. There's always this build up towards the elective conference, and it doesn't start on the year of the ANC elective conference. It starts months before. You understand? We are going to the local government elections.
So are you saying all of this is a ball in play now?
It's a ball in play now. People's names are popping out, slates are coming out, people are now ticking, did Ramaphosa deliver what we expected? Even towards Nazareth 2017, if you recall what happened in 2015, that's when the ANC members started questioning President Zuma. ANC leaders like Derek Hanekom, who the late, who's the former minister who called me a Gupta analyst. What is his name?
Pravin Gordhan.
Pravin Gordhan. 2015, 2016, they started questioning the conduct of President Zuma while they were in the NEC, while they were in government. So it has been the behavior of the ANC people. For me, I am not surprised that some ANC people are questioning President Ramaphosa. What is surprising me is that it's people from his clique or faction. Normally, it's those that will be out of the faction. But I think some of ANC members, leaders, are realizing that if they don't deal with President Ramaphosa now or start choking, the ANC will go down with all of them. I think they are really, but let me tell you, it is too late. The ANC will not renew itself. And by attacking each other is not even helping the situation. And I mean, Andile Lungis is a member of the NEC. You remember what he said? He says the whole NEC is useless. There's no future for it, and he thinks it must be dissolved. I mean, that's bold. That's very heavy to come from an NEC member. It's that it's failing to even implement its own policies or to hold their own president accountable. And that's the challenge we are faced with, or the ANC is faced with, not us as a nation, but it does impact and affect us. Because once the truly house is unstable, union building will be unstable. We can see the results now. I mean, I'm telling you, this visit of the Americans to President Mbeki Foundation, the criticism from Dr. Naledi Pandor, who's the former Minister of Terco, you know, that it's a challenge. Then there's an MTN issue that we can't undermine. You know, the Americans have issued a statement that actually MTN involving in supporting, that's their allegation so far, terrorism and all that, and drones that they supplied. They said it started when President Ramaphosa was the chairperson. Already, look how far they are digging.
Yeah.
Before Mbeki Jonas was the chair, and Mbeki Jonas is President Ramaphosa's in business and in politics right-hand person, a trusted person. You understand? And now the Americans are saying, no. This MTN company started doing this thing when the president of South Africa was the chairperson of MTN. And it's very bad. For me, this is bad news.
Yeah. How do you think what will the ultimate outcome be based on the sequence of events, do you think?
I think long before the ANC elective conference in 2027 or 2028, I think long before that, the ANC is going to recall President Ramaphosa. And that is good. The pressure is going to come from external forces like Russia and the US. The pressure is going to come from there.
Yeah.
These engagements of external forces like America is doing with the Mbeki Foundation, Russia is doing the same. Other African countries are busy engaging President Zuma as if he's still the head of state.
Yes.
And it's trouble, it's boiling. And I think the ANC is going to try and save itself by recalling President Ramaphosa, or he is going to resign. I think he's going to voluntarily resign. And I'll tell you why. I'm one of the people who believe that President Ramaphosa was brought in by white capital or by business. They had confidence in him. Even them are no longer even talking nice. Understand? Or they are silent. They are not protecting him. They are not bolstering him in the position. So the grip cannot hold. The only thing that is keeping the country a little bit stable at the moment, it is this GNU government, because it is a multi-party coalition. And that's the only thing that's keeping them glued. But I think the Americans are going to do whatever it takes to influence the ANC to change its leader now. Then they will say, we'll start engaging with you. They're going to come and say, that man has funded terrorism through MTN. And we don't want to talk to him. Are we going to risk business? Is Johann Rupert and the Oppenheimers going to fold their arms? They're going to call President Ramaphosa and say, but there's a challenge here, there's a problem. Let me tell you, that's going to happen.
Sure.
If he stays, then I will know that he has tasted the real political syrup, where when you go old and you're in politics and you taste that syrup, the only thing you must is stubbornness. I am not going anywhere.
While we're at it, there are three parties that came out this week, Rise Mzansi, BOSA, and Good,
yes,
that have said that they are going to form an umbrella, if you will. Probably similar to the UDC in Botswana, which was an amalgamation of the smaller parties.
Yeah.
Let's form an umbrella. Maybe if we are united in our approach, we can fare better at the local government elections, which are going to be probably November, December next year.
Yes.
Let's talk about this centrist alliance.
I've seen the article. I've read it. I've followed up. They also included Action SA.
Yes.
There were 4.
They pulled out though.
Action SA has pulled out. They say they've done the groundwork. Let me start with those who left. They've done the groundwork. They think they've got the mark, the footprint to can continue to stand on their own. They're not interested in this coalition. And Hemen Mashab and Action SA, they believe that actually them as a political party, they are bigger than these other 3.
Exactly.
He said so. They pulled out. He says it's a good idea, it's needed, but they're not interested. One other challenge in there that Action SA say they can't be part of. Remember, Action SA does not want to be part of the government. 2 of the parties there, the Good Party of TSHIDI, as well as Rise Mzansi, that is, I always forget the name of the leader of Rise Mzansi. They are in the government of national unity.
Rise is Songezo.
Songezo is actually the chairperson of
Scopa. Yes.
And then the only one that's not in government is BOSA, led by Dr. Musi Maimani.
Yes.
You know, he's a doctor now. Yeah, Dr. Musi Maimani is the only one that's not in government. And Action SA, but you are on bad with the ANC and the DA. That's why we can't be part of that. It's a good idea to come and unite and come with an umbrella organization, but it's new branding.
Yes.
I think it is too close. They are too late. It is too close to the local government election. South Africans believe in brands. We believe in having the name, the logo, the party. Remember, what is that?
But are they not going to amalgamate as a party logo, etc.?
That's what they are talking.
Yeah, but they have more time to do it than what MKP did. And MKP did very well.
I doubt fresh their footprint and their mark in the South African society. I don't think it's big. Look at the 3 of them. Their percentage in national politics, it's 1-1-1. Understand? They are sitting with 2-3 members in parliament. I don't think it will have any significant impact. But I would advise them to say, should they decide to amalgamate, they should target the communities and elect, because they're going to local government elections as a united force. They should make the leaders of the united brand, or whatever they will call it, must be from the communities. That's the only way they will make an impact. But if they're going to take their current leadership
and go top down,
then it's not going to work for them.
Yeah.
I don't think it will work.
If they then start from communities, seed themselves in the communities,
Yes.
and work upwards, are you saying they could get mass
They
that
could
way?
get mass, because the communities are waking up to the importance of politics. The communities want representation. And let me tell you, if I become an advisor of any political party, now, I will tell them, get leaders from those communities. Stop imposing people from outside with glamour names who are known into the community. The communities don't care anymore. They want their reps to be part of them. And if they do that, they may amass quite a number of local government elections. Sure. But you can see everybody's working towards, all the small parties are now talking and working towards weakening the DA and the African National Congress. Everybody's focusing there.
But it goes back to the age-old debate: do we not have enough political parties? That in fact, we even had the debate on 938 Fresh Breakfast this week, asking people, what do you prefer? Are you happy with the fact that the more the merrier, because that's democracy, or should we rather maybe look at how they do it in other territories, where you literally have 2 to 3 main parties.
Yes.
And we know that that's where everyone is voting.
Yes.
Or should we stick to the more the merrier?
Look, this more the merrier doesn't work for the people. For me, it doesn't work. And I've been anti that. Did you see 30 more parties registered with the IEC this week? We are sitting at 435, 435 political parties registered with the IEC. That's Even 35 is too much. But I'm saying South Africa must change the electoral law. We must have a law that says parties that did not reach this threshold will not come back, will not remain registered. You must reach a certain threshold. For example, at least have, in order to reduce them gradually, you must at least have, and I'll make an example, 5% of the electorate must have voted for you. If you don't even come back. We are not registering new political parties. But let me tell you, the constitutional Democrats will go to the Constitutional Court
and win
and say you are suppressing us. Even the one voice is important. You understand? Remember, on top of all these political parties, now we are going to have independent candidates contesting. So we may have a ballot paper with 1,000 names of human beings and as individuals and political parties. That's absolute madness. Change the law to be able to can manage this situation. But I have said before and many times, a divided vote marginalizes the people.
Yes.
And those in power will be very happy when our vote is split because they will remain in power.
You see, that's why a lot of us argue the fact that a united electorate, a united Africa, if you will, if you're looking at the bigger picture, is not in the interest of those that have interest in Africa. That we must remain divided. We must remain fighting over little distractions.
Yes.
When there's bigger issues that we're not dealing with, because I'm now, Botsang is my distraction because he's the new political party, versus me and Botsang saying our common enemy right now is poverty, imperialism, the lack of decolonization despite X amount of years in governance. That how do we tackle that beast? And we can't if we are fighting amongst ourselves because we're divided.
We are divided. We are fighting who to vote for, which political party T-shirt. It actually makes the electorate fresh to say, you know what, I'm not interested.
Yes.
This thing of the more, the mirror, this is not the more. This is actually confusing the electorate or making the electorate to be disgruntled. To say there's just too many. These people are just... if you talk to people on the streets, they will tell you politicians are very selfish. They are forming all these political parties to focus on their selfish interest. Because people are saying, just if Kenya look to one seat in parliament, people are happy. You understand what I'm saying? People are happy. One seat in parliament. I mean that will make the people disgruntled because there's no strong united voice that talks on behalf of the constituencies or the people. But that's how this fake democracy that was sold to Africans work.
Yes.
You understand? America is said to be the India is known to be the biggest democracy in the world. America has few political parties, few independent candidates for all these years. And look at the British themselves. You understand? Our former colonizers. None of these countries have more than 5 political parties. Germany has major 3 political parties that are running elections. Why would the democracy they imposed in Africa or they dished to Africans, this country, South Africa as an example, why would that democracy allow you to can have unlimited number of political parties? How do we sit as the IEC of South Africa and not change and or amend the rules or ask the government to put a ceiling? What is the reason that's stopping them to inputting it? One, it's costing us a lot financially. 2, it's unmanageable. Understand? And I don't think it is in the best interest of these people. I've previously spoke about electronic voting. The IEC has reaffirmed this week that it will not happen. They say they don't have the resources. They have not planned for it. They haven't developed policy for, hey.
How long does it take to do all of it?
You have developed a policy. You didn't develop a policy to can have 3 ballot papers. You change the practice and the regulation. You don't develop a special policy. Why do you want to change the law to say we can have electronic voting? You bring it as a tool. You understand? You bring it as tool of trade to help you. Now you've got 10 million potential voters who are youth who decide we are not going to go and vote. I'm not going to queue. And for you, it's normal. And I think That's another thing that political parties or the opposition parties are not making noise about. That why don't we have electronic voting and reduce? But this constitutional democracy is not working for us first. That's my conclusion to the matter. It is not working for us. We should revisit the constitution of this country wholly.
Yeah.
It needs an absolute overhaul.
Absolutely. And the irony is, there's that old age saying that at independence, generally it's always, we'll give them the parliament, but we'll hang on to the banks.
Yes.
And then when you look at other countries that have, I don't know how many banks they have in a lot of East African countries, are averaging even 80 banks.
Yeah, yes.
Where the barrier to entry into banking is not as, and maybe it's a good thing or a bad thing, is not as stringent as here. That we have 1 million political parties,
Yes.
but very few black bank owners.
Yes.
But you go to other African countries, you go to West Africa, you go to East Africa, you're finding countries with banking options.
Even the government does not have a bank. That's the other problem. I'm not talking about the Reserve Bank only. The central bank of the country or the development bank. The government does not have a bank. When we had a bank as a government, and this one, I don't know where our politicians and analysts and economists, for me to ask them that question. You know that the South African government had a bank, the Post Bank, that they are still using to pay SASSA fees, social grants and all that. Imagine if government departments, there was no law from the Treasury that says you cannot bank with anything except commercial banks. And we have 5 commercial banks in South Africa. The 4 famous one, Capitec has joined them. Ne? Now, the government has a policy or a law that says government institutions, departments, entities, agencies, whatever, they can't bank with anything except commercial banks. When the government had a post bank, imagine if government was banking with the post bank would have not collapsed fresh. The post bank would have made billions from interest. Imagine if South Africa has an approximate 3 billion budget per annum. Imagine if that money was at the post bank. Where will the post bank be? It would have been the biggest employer, the post bank. It would have been having good capital and reserves. We destroyed the post bank. Why do we have a law that says they can't do that? Why do we trust the post bank with social security money, but we don't trust it with government money and savings and all those things? The same with telecom. I once asked when I came back to government, I left and I came back. When I said, what is this thing of us having official cell phones of government? The government has contracts with other big names like MTN and Vodacom and Cell C that time. When the South African government had telecom, why didn't we have rules and regulations that say all departments' mobile contracts will be with telecom? People came with lousy excuses to say telecom does not have enough towers. Put the towers. If you don't have the towers, put the towers. If we take contracts with telecom, we will be giving it business so that it has capital to can put the towers. We saw what telecom did towards the 2010 World Cup. Do you know that with the infrastructure of telecom towards the 2010 World Cup, we had the best fiber in the continent? The fastest, the best, and the cheapest in 2010. So it can be done because they put infrastructure in. Now you tell me they can't put towers. Give them money to put towers. Then we do business with the government entity.
Exactly.
Telecom is now running at a loss. It's becoming defunct.
No, man, didn't they post a profit the other day?
Yeah, but on other measures, not on cell phones, because they've got other activities that fiber, home internet, and all that. But I'm saying, imagine if government departments were required to have primarily the cell phone contracts with telecom first as a government entity. Like for example, I used to ask when I was a diplomat, why are we not having a rule that all public servants will primarily fly SAA? In absence of SAA on a particular route or flights are full, then you can use the other alternatives.
I mean, Springboks are flown by Fly Safari, taking nothing away from Fly Safari. It's a business transaction. The Springboks are a massive brand, and
they're sponsoring them.
That brand is about making money. But you'd expect the national carrier to be what's carrying
the national team.
Your green blazers.
Yes, those are some of the things that I have a problem with government. And people will tell you it is not easy. How can it not be easy for SAA, Telkom, and Postbank when it's easy for commercial banks, for MTN and Vodacom, and for whatever it's called, Fly SFA?
Yes.
How are we saying the government is incapable? The government is capable because it has the money.
Yeah.
The government is supposed to be the biggest stimulant of economy and growth. That's how normal countries function,
Sure.
not us. I mean, let's take it home and make it simple. You've got a bank, you own a bank. You've got kids, they want to open bank accounts. And then you pass a rule that says, my kids cannot bank in my bank. What kind of nonsense is that? Yeah. They can go and bank in Botsang's banks because Botsang's bank are handling their transactions better than me. Why then do you have a bank if you don't believe in yourself? And that's simple as that. And people say, I may be simplifying things. I'm saying it's either we don't have skillful people, or the people who are sitting in decision-making processes of government, they don't have the best interest of this country at heart. Otherwise, we'll be doing these things ourselves.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the Justice Minister suspending the DG and the DDG over the Madlanga Commission delays. In fact, President Ramaphosa said about the delays, it's shameful that there are these delays. And there's word that he's very infuriated by these delays. But he's called them shameful.
Yeah, but he's shocked. I'm not surprised that he find them shameful. Didn't he know the kind of people he has put into government? Luckily, it's not ministers who appoint DGs, it's the president. So President Ramaphosa appointed the DG of Justice. This commission of inquiry is the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. The Department of Justice is the custodian of making sure that the commission happens. And I had said to you during the course of the week on the radio, when we do the In Context show on the radio, that there's two things that have happened here. I just pray and hope that Minister Mamuluku Kubai has followed legal labor processes to suspend these two people, the Director General and the Deputy Director General of ICT.
So what have they done? Or not done?
That's actually a clever question. Or not done. They didn't do their work according to the minister. But the story that the minister, she had a very lengthy press conference to tell us as a nation that the Madlanga Commission, informed by allegations of Lieutenant General Mkwanazi, the commission that the president pronounced over a month ago, will not sit from the 1st of September as it was envisaged, because the DG as well as the DDG of the Department of Justice, they have failed to, to acquire or to buy or to rent equipment that the commission will need. Equipments like microphones, laptops, recording equipment and all. They failed to what is the English word when you buy stuff or to
procurement.
To procure.
But yes, I understand that there's red tape when it comes to procurement.
Yes.
But are there no extreme circumstances that allow certain checklists to be bypassed?
There are. The answer is there are. When the special court, and I'm talking purely from public administration background, purely from the Public Finance Management Act, there is provision in the PFMA that when there's a call for unusual conduct or behavior, it can be looked into. But you don't just willy-nilly do it. You must get permission from the Treasury and all that. Let me tell you what I suspect happened there, and it's suspicion from my side because I know I've been in trouble several times for doing the same thing. This commission budget is supposed to come from the presidency because it belongs to the president. Remember, it was not budgeted for by the Minister of Justice. Now, I suspect the DG and the DDG, they went to the minister and said, Minister, we don't have the budget. We didn't plan for this commission. We don't have the money. Now, what the minister was supposed to do is to go back to her boss, the president, and say, hey, Give me the money. I don't have the money to can run this commission, to can buy equipment or procure equipment. And once the money is there, then they must follow process. Again, the red tape comes in to say you must advertise. But in this instance, the DG and the DDG should have known that this is a special project. You don't go through the normal process of advertising in 3 newspapers and having a bid committee and all those things. They probably were typical, what do you call them, public servants who by the book and only by the book. You understand? That's one part. The other part is they call it the verimentation of funds in government. So if one department asks another department to do a job for, they must give them that instruction in writing with allocation codes. There's codes that government departments use. For example, those codes will be codes to be used by the Treasury to say the presidency is allocating 1 billion to the commission, but the Ministry of Justice is running with the commission. Treasury, can you move 1 billion from the presidency budget to the Treasury budget? That should happen in writing fresh. I don't know how many times in my career I've received instructions to do that, and I will flatly refuse.
Haven't you gotten into trouble for that?
Twice.
For being non-cooperative?
Yes, for the non-cooperative number. But if cover your back, normally when politicians make decisions, if something goes wrong, the fault goes with who? The technocrat, the DG, the CEO, the head of corporate services. You understand? For me, if it's in writing, if the instruction is within the law and it is in writing. I've previously told you the story of when President Mandela's office asked me to pay for a dinner and go and receive Megrasa Machel at the airport in Frankfurt. I refused. I said, on whose money? On whose money? I refused. I flatly refused.
It's Madiba. Madiba sending you. How do you...
I flatly, I actually, and they dealt with me. You know what they did? They sent me and my then wife to go and meet Megrasa Machel, but I was refusing to pay. And have dinner with used kilometers or state fuel to go and engage her. But it was a principled decision.
Yes.
And it has happened several times. I mean, one is the one that got me also into trouble at Derrico, where I was asked by an ambassador to pay for official translators of President Mbeki. And I ended up, writing to the then DG in the presidency, Reverend Chikani, to say I need allocation codes because my boss and my ambassador, my boss at Derrico headquarters, was not giving me the allocation codes.
Yes.
Then I wrote to Reverend Chikani because he was the DG. So first of all, I broke protocol. I jumped my ambassador, I jumped my DDG, who was my line manager at headquarters. Then I jumped the DG of Derrico, which was foreign affairs that time. Coincidentally, it was Sipho Pichana. I jumped and I wrote to who are you? And I write to the DG. I'm like, but I am not being given what I'm supposed to get.
Yes.
I need allocation codes so that I can tell Treasury I'm spending this money that belongs to foreign affairs on behalf of the presidency. You understand? And I think this is what might have happened where these DGs and the DG said, we don't have the budget, we don't have the plan, we don't have the money. Give us the money or confirm in writing that you, Mamuluku Kubai, Cyril Ramaphosa will pay you. Have an agreement, but look, it has delayed. And we don't know for how long, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. The commission of inquiry, the Madlanga Commission, has delayed that, and it is for me, it's not shameful. It is actually one of the signs that the center is not holding.
Yes.
It's one of the signs that the government is not well coordinated. Things are not. I mean, if the instruction is out there and there's nothing wrong with the instruction, the nation needs this commission. The nation is happy for this commission to say it's happy, it's going to expose a lot of corruption and maladministration. But who knows? It may be a strategy to delay it while the so-called or the allegedly corrupt ones are cleaning in them. The more they delay, the more the allegedly corrupt people will be cleaning.
Every delay is an opportunity to bury more stuff.
Exactly. Files will disappear. People will resign. People will even die. whether natural or unnaturally. So the delays are not helping the process.
Absolutely.
And actually, I'm not going to say it is shameful. I'm going to say to Ndade Ramaphosa and his team, you are actually shamefully failing as a nation by not following simple, basic administrative processes to get the job done. I mean, it's over when it's almost the 6th of July when Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi mentioned the 6th of July. We are going to the 6th of September. The president is over a month since he decided on this commission. When it was decided, the agency, the appointment of the suspension of the minister, the appointment of a new minister. Look at how President Ramaphosa moved fast and swiftly in appointing Professor Kashalia.
Ah, yes, yes.
He moved very fast. In 2 weeks, the president had a post, changed the laws, broke the rules, went to court, appointed. In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a record, but that is the fastest thing that President Ramaphosa has ever done, actually.
Very decisive.
Very decisive. I mean, this guy got sworn in, appointed, he's running. Mr. Mkhunu is sitting at home enjoying his nice benefits. And why, when it comes to issues of national interest, where there's basic administrative processes we fail? I mean, these DGs and these are experienced people. It will be interesting for us to know the nucleus, what did they actually do, not the assumptions that we are sitting with. And then we'll know the truth. For as long as they are not before the disciplinary hearing or the court. Because remember, the minister can't talk about what they are suspended for because there's what we call it.
There's processes.
Yes,
There's
processes.
yeah.
Yes. So, but once we know, you'll see, I bet my last cent, there's political conundrum happening in there. There's politics there. It's not just administrative.
We are running out of time, but I think we need to talk about Libya. He insists I'm innocent.
Yeah.
But I'm not alone.
Yes.
What do you think that means?
Well, he says he's innocent when all criminals claim to be innocent. I don't say Mr. Libya is a criminal. I'm saying when there's allegations against you and you are charged, you will say I'm innocent. Once your defense says, no, I'm not guilty, you are defending yourself. But remember, this is not yet the case about the alleged in court. He was in court on Monday or Tuesday. This is not about the allegations that Mkhwanazi put over. He was in court not for that. He was in court to challenge his suspension. And now, fresh, going back to the suspension of the DGs and the case, ask yourself, Mr. Libya or Lieutenant General Libya is on suspension with full pay. Why do you want to challenge your suspension? Why do you want to be at work? You see what I was explaining earlier on. Why do you want to fight to be at work? You are being paid.
Because I love my job. I'm serving my people. I'm serving my nation. Why should I be...
allegations that you were not serving the people. You were serving your friends and your own interest. It's an allegation. Wouldn't it be in the best interest of those you claim to be serving for you to step back so that there can be a clean investigation that you cannot influence? I mean, there's very serious allegations that the police were conniving and collaborating with criminals and gangs and mafias. Those are serious things.
Sure.
If I want my name cleared and I'm suspended and I know I'm innocent, as he claims, I would sit back and say, let due process take place so that it clears my name. It will actually work to your favor and advantage, because once you are at work, documents may disappear, people may die, others may escape from prison, and then there'll be new allegations to say you probably aided, for that kind of corruption and maladministration. And so it is better off to do that. But his statement, not the innocent one, the other part that says, if this thing is too big, the magnitude, it can't be me alone facing the music. For me, that was telling that it can't be me alone. It can, where are other people? You should have at least mentioned who could be involved.
Let me tell you what I think he means. I think he's saying, if a crime of this magnitude was committed, I wouldn't be alone doing it.
Yes.
Because it's too big.
Yes.
But I'm the only one who's facing the music. So I don't think he's incriminating himself. I'm thinking he's saying, if this crime was committed fairly, I would need more than just myself to do it.
To do that, yes.
Is what I am hearing from him. I'm not hearing him incriminating himself, saying, "Ki innocent, but if ki guilty, guilty ka fail."
But remember, his defense is nothing of that sort happened.
Yes, that's my point.
Now leave it there. What I'm saying is leave it there. I'm innocent. I did.
So he's saying he's over elaborating.
Yes, he's over elaborating. This thing did not happen. Remember, his defense is this thing did not happen. I've never influenced people. I've never sorted with criminals. I never wanted to shut down the political killings file. I never took those files. And then it was a political decision there by the minister, not by me or by the commissioner. You leave it there. Let the commissioner and the minister answer for themselves. Don't add. Don't go and say, if this thing happened, there should have been many hands to do this.
I think sometimes you need to show people that what I'm accused of is ludicrous, because really if it happened, then I would not be the only one standing here. I'll give you an example. If there's a report that Botsang was caught stealing 5 vehicles, there's no way Botsang stole 5 vehicles, only one.
Yes.
It was Botsang and some other people. I think that's him trying to explain his position.
You can explain, but I'll counter that.
Yeah.
I can steal 10 vehicles, load them on a truck. A truck can load 10, and I drive the truck alone. Or I can hijack a truck that I'm going to use to load vehicles that are parked somewhere or that I've shoved somewhere, and I load them one and I drove them. But I'm saying, Fresh, there's a platform, a court that you are going to face to can present your case. Why go and play in the hands Tsabo Botsang Lebo Fresh and the media and try and unscramble the scrambled egg? And because that's what they're trying to do. You understand? It's the same as the IDC CEO, who they rush to the media to say things that, in my view and observation, it compromising their cases.
Sure.
And they may end up incriminating themselves. You understand? And that's why I've been so close to Holbeck. You tried so many times that we should talk about my own labor case, which there's damning information inside my case. I'm holding back painfully because I'm saying, let this delaying process take its own course. But I will talk when it's the right time and the right platform, not the media.
But don't overshare if you're going to share.
Don't overshare. They don't know. These criminals are not trained properly. One of the things they...
What criminals?
Criminals generally.
You can't call people criminals.
No, but criminals generally, not or alleged criminals. They don't know how to be a criminal. If you have been trained and worked with intelligence and with lawyers as well.
Yeah.
The biggest criminals are lawyers anyway. Because they tell you, no, but if...
Knowing the system does not make you a criminal. It just makes you someone who knows the system.
So to be smart, to outclass the system.
The ability to see through a system or to bypass it in parts of a system doesn't make you a criminal. It just makes the system maybe not foolproof. So the problem is the system.
Well, I'll reserve that for now. But talking less, giving less info, if you are involved in a legal dispute, it helps. Do it to the right person at the right time. And that's what I'm saying. Don't play in the media and the gallery.
Don't be fooled by cameras.
With such important information. And that's all I'm saying. That's why I call it, you may incriminate yourself with things that you are not supposed to do or say. You
know what? Some of it is also just basic media training. And basic media training is, when you leave the courthouse, there'll be live cameras.
Yes.
Have a prepared statement for the live cameras. Don't be fooled, bamboozled by live cameras. And I think a lot of people, not just politicians, even just ordinary citizens, where you leave court, your emotions are heightened, or kwatile, you're angry, you're feeling hard done by, and you speak from your heart and not from your mind.
Yes.
And some of it is just that prepare, have a, what's it called? In the event that
yes.
a scenario plan, that they might ask me about this, what's my answer? If it's not a no comment, what is the answer?
Yes.
And if there's someone that does media training with you, tell them that if they ask me this, I'm going to say this. So you know what to avoid. Because often your foot is in your mouth already. Now you're going to proceed to put the other foot.
Or let your legal representative.
Or shut up.
Yeah,
We can't-
you see, you've got a lawyer. The reason you've got a legal rep
Yeah.
is to take care of that whole thing.
We can't quote you on your silence.
Yes.
And one thing I've noticed, especially in the US, is in a lot of situations, people are represented by their lawyers, even in front of the media.
Yes. For me, that is the best strategy, because lawyers will know what may incriminate you, what may be used against you in future. You understand? You cannot go and deny things that you said with your mouth, and there's records,
Yes.
there's cameras, there's books, there's recordings. The court can go and apply for those to be used in court. To say, but when you were on News 24 or City Press or whatever media house, you said A, B, C, D, E. What did you mean? Now it's 2 years down the line, you are in court, and you want now to go and change the statement that you have said. So everything else that you are going to be saying will be questionable.
Yeah.
Speak less, stay away from the media, except when you have facts, or ask experts to talk on your behalf.
And in the immortal words of a very wise African, and if you do eat, wipe your mouth.
Yeah, exactly that. Wipe your mouth and be that. Yeah. But that's the challenges we are facing in the country. And look, Fresh, my observation is this commission, these criminal claims and allegations are going to shift politics of South Africa in a very big way.
Yeah, because I can guarantee you that people that were not even thinking are in the fray, and they are in the fray.
And they're in the fray, yes. It's this thing, it's bigger than we thought. I don't know what did Mr. Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi eat or smoke or drink that day, but he has thrown, the cat amongst the pigeons. And there's no pun intended for one of the people involved there is called the cat. So there's no pun intended. So, but if you throw a cat amongst the pigeons, as you say, some people were not even aware. There's somebody politically years back once said President Zuma has contaminated so many people in the ANC. Everybody has touched.
Everyone has a skeleton in here.
Yeah, what's the former minister said? Lamini said, everyone's getting, and this person said, yes, Beck, they are not even aware that President Zuma will just switch the fan on and the poop is all over their hands. It will start blowing. And we saw it happening. We saw ministers going to Nkandla and saying they didn't see a swimming pool there, they saw a fire hydrant. Where were the brains at that time? And it's not him, and he stands there and said, I'm not a minister, I didn't ask for renovations. Make an example. I make an example. So corruption is evil, Fresh. You know how I feel about it. It's very bad. And sometimes people end up in acts of corruption, not aware that they are actually committing a crime of corruption. Simple things. During the course of this week, one of the media houses ran a story of how the former minister of police, and it's too much of a coincidence, the two ministers of police are implicated in the Ket Matlala thing and the Temulefe thing. And the minister who has said, I don't know the guy, now it comes out that he had called the guy 10 times in one day.
So what, there's a call record?
Sorry?
So there's a phone records.
There's phone records. And when people are malicious, the media houses will go and get them from you 10 times. And you say, I don't know this person. I know he's existing, but he's not my friend. Even my girlfriend or child doesn't call me 10 times a day. You understand? Those are basic things. Even the most nagging spouse will not call you 10 times a day. Never. So how are you going to answer? You started by talking to the media first. Now they are coming with follow-up questions. They're digging more. You will be in trouble.
Absolutely. We're out of time. Yo,
Are we done?
Trevor, how long is this thing? It's not too bad.
No.
No, it's not too bad.
No,
I'm seeing our management there saying that we must
Chasing us out.
We must change. Eh?
But before you wrap up and chase us away, there's something very interesting that's happening in the continent, and I think also that's where President Mbeki and his foundations and the Americans are coming in. Remember that the Americans are claiming that the Qatar negotiations and deal with the DRC peacekeeping process. they claim to say it's them who facilitated it. It just happened in Qatar, but the Americans claimed that. And now they're meeting President Mbeki. We know the role that President Mbeki had played for peacekeeping missions in the Sudan and even in the DRC. His relationship with two key figures. President Kagame, our diplomatic relationships ended after President Mbeki left the office. Actually, ironically, it was under President Motlanthe, acting era, or that short stint, where our diplomatic relations with Kigali were severed. But President Mbeki is also very close to President Kabila, the Joseph Kabila, who has been in exile from the DRC for the last 2 years. He served 2 terms. He's with the opposition. He's a staunch opposition of the current incumbent Tshisekedi. And where is President Kabila? He has spent more time the last 2 years.
Wasn't he studying here?
He was studying at the Town Mbeki.
Yes, he was studying here.
Yes. He's very close with President Mbeki. He's exiled in South Africa. Well, they call it exile. But he can say I was there to study.
But hasn't there been murmurings of death penalty in the DRC?
That's what I'm bringing to the table. First of all, the people did not know that in the last year or more, President Kabila, the former president of the DRC, has been facing criminal charges and very serious criminal charges by the military.
Yeah.
Not by a normal criminal court.
Because he's a military man.
Yes.
Yes.
But despite that, he's been associated with the M23.
Oh.
They say, according to the court papers, issued by the Auditor General of the military court in the DRC. They are linking him to the M23. They are linking him at fund the M23, violence, murders, and killings. You know, it is so bad, fresh, that the military court is even approaching the presidency and the court to change the law in order to sentence him to death.
Oh, wow.
They have already found him guilty.
Oh, wow.
But they've changed the law. The DRC...
So are they saying they have overwhelming evidence to link him to M23?
Yes, that's what they're claiming.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the DRC years back, they abandoned the death penalty, like South Africa. A year ago, they reinstated death penalty. Although nobody has ever been sentenced to death and hanged or shot and executed, is the right weight. But it's only a year old. Can you see it's too much of a coincidence that you want to hang or to shoot or to exterminate your former president? You go and you change the law. You make the law to say death penalty is back. And then the Auditor General of the military court makes a decision to say, actually, these things that he has done are not only treasonous, but there's murder involved. There's arming and helping the rebels, and therefore he must be sentenced to death. You know, in closing of our show today, I'm predicting this is going to throw out the peace deal. It's going to affect the peace deal.
Yes, it will. There's no...
I mean, how do we sit in a situation that you are accusing an opposition leader who's the former president? I don't say he didn't do anything. I don't say he's right. I don't say they are wrong. I'm simply saying, how do you want to achieve a peace deal?
Yes.
When you want to go and hang one of the supposed to be players in the peace deal.
Yes.
Understand? If he's really friends with the M23, do you think the M23 will still remain on the table when their friend or funder or supporter is being hanged or executed? And this is some of people should understand that peace deals are about compromise. I don't say people must not be prosecuted for the wrongs they have done. I'm simply saying if you want peace at some stage or level, you must be able to compromise and to let go. Now the DRC is sitting with a situation where they want to execute their former president. And I think it's very risky for this new peace deal that they have achieved. My dear sir.
And on that note, I think we are done.
Thank you very much. And I think we had a bumper. I wish one day we should come to the studio and we don't have anything to talk about. Then we spend 30 minutes.
I think Jesus will come back before that happens. Then he'll become the story.
Yes,
sir. Yeah. Where do we find you online, sir?
botsangm@gmail.com. And if you want to order the book or book me for public speaking, it's on WhatsApp 083-884-7787. And on social media handles, all of them at Botsang M.
Is it the same number if political parties want you to come in and maybe help them look at the policies and maybe make policy suggestions.
That as well. I will do that better. If there's any political party, I can review their policies.
Yes.
I can do that. I can stay behind the scenes.
I know you're the man for the job, so
Yeah, I will do
hence
that.
I'm putting it out there.
But by the way, despite you pulling it out, I told you I've decided to join politics. I have not pronounced and announced yet, but I've decided to join politics. I'm going to be wearing shirts and colors very soon.
Do we know which one's it?
I know which ones, 1 or 2 or 3.
But you don't trust me because you know I have a big mouth.
Yeah, you'll end up talking about it. Yeah.
Can I guess the color?
All political parties in South Africa have green in them, except even the DA has green.
Why are you volunteering green?
Because that's the common color. Because all Patriotic Alliance has green, PAC, ANC, Umkhonto Action, everybody has green.
I think you, Lieutenant General Libya, are the same. Sometimes you must just keep quiet.
No, I didn't want you to predict, because you know what the people who watch this show are saying? They're saying, these two are too close. Whatever the other one is saying is the truth.
All I did was say, this is a nice piece of rope. When I decided,
Yourself.
hey, let me be a cowboy.
Fresh. Anyway, thanks, brother, man.
Our modern day Lieutenant General Botsang Modimowame Moiloa is done. Listen, man, we appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you interacting with the post, interacting with the video. So please keep it coming. Fresh and Botsang on Wow What a Week, #PoliTricks. We're out at Discover TV. Look them up, book them for your podcast, for your studio session. They'll even do your music video if you ask them nicely enough. Shout out to Trevor and his crew at Pezulu Works. We are part of the Africa Podcast Network. You can email us at waw@africapodcastnetwork.com. Shout out Keletso Modisakeng. She is our executive producer. And of course, you, the most important cog in this politics wheel. Rest in peace, TSHIDI MADIA. You shall be sorely missed. And I think all of us can take a leaf from how you did politics, how you reported politics, and how you are on this never-ending quest for the truth. I don't think you have died in vain. Many people out there are willing and ready to take the baton and run with it. But rest in peace, my sister. Till we meet again. Have a wow week in spite of yourselves. We're out of here.